Alright guys, let's get in the water! Why are you not swimming, girls?
Our parents don't let us take swimming lessons. We can't swim.
Alright, sit here and I'll talk about this with them sometime this week. Yes, come in. Hi, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sit down, please. I have scheduled this meeting today to talk about your daughters. The other day I was told by a professor that they were at swimming lessons and they did not want to swim, and I didn't understand why. That's why I have scheduled this meeting.
But they cannot take them.
But do they have any health inconvenience or do you have any economic issue? Because if this is the case, the school can provide everything needed for the girls to take swimming lessons and take part as all the other kids.
It's not a matter of health problems or neither economic problems. It's a question of religion, of tradition. We are Muslims and we follow our religion. We think that this mixed gender swimming lessons violates the requirement of Islam for females to be properly covered in front of men.
Well, as a school, we could allow the girls to wear burkini in swimming lessons, and we could allow them to change in different changing rooms apart from all the other boys and girls in the class. Would this be a solution?
This would not change the situation. Although the Quran only requires the covering of the female body starting from puberty, we follow an Islamic-oriented upbringing, which obliges us to prepare our daughters to these religions' precepts already before puberty. Even though our girls could wear a burkini during the lessons, we see this participation as against our religion's beliefs, and this is very unrespectful.
Well, then know that I will have to inform the principal and the corresponding responsibles about this, because as a school we cannot exempt the girls from taking swimming lessons when they are under 18.
Let's go. That.
Well, we
It's very
should
unrespectful.
keep talking about this.
Very angry. Goodbye. Habibi, we have received a letter from the state.
What does it say?
Look, sit. Mr. Aziz Osmanoglu and Mrs. Seabat Kosabas. We have been informed that your daughters have not attended the curriculum required in the classes, which involves swimming lessons. The Department of Public Instruction of the Canton of Basel staff warns that, pursuant to paragraph 91 of the Education Act of Canton Basel-Stadt, you are liable to a fine because your daughters have not complied with all the obligations to attend school. You are requested by the Department of Education of the Canton of Basel-Stadt to pay a fine of 1,400 Swiss francs per child for having acted in breach of your parental duty.
What?
Oh my god.
That cannot be true.
How are we going to pay all this?
Oh my god.
Your Honor, my clients and I allege that the obligation of their younger girls to attend to mixed swimming classes is contrary to their religious beliefs, by virtue of the Article 9 of the European Convention on Human Rights and the Fundamental Freedom. We also believe that, as in the first case of considering the exemption of swimming lessons in 1993, Even if the applicant did not learn to swim, her chances of completing her schooling or succeeding in her professional life were not seriously threatened.
May it please the court, I would like to say that in any case, this has violated their religious beliefs, as the girls have been offered many times by the school to swim with bikini and get dressed in different rooms.
We dismiss the applicant's appeal, considering that the refusal of the authorities to exempt their girls from mixed swimming lessons in primary school did not violate the applicant's right to freedom of conscience and belief. We admit that this refusal represents an infringement of the freedom of religion. Nevertheless, we consider that swimming lessons are part of the compulsory school programs in the canton of Basel-Stadt and that this obligation is based on a sufficiently solid legal basis. As in the judgment of 2013 by the Federal Administrative Court of Germany, Frankfurt, we think that the school is not obliged to exclude from the school curriculum practices that met and were tolerated in society outside of school for the sole reason that they are not acceptable. Let me quote some paragraphs of the provisions of the Basel City Cantonal School Act of 4 April 1929, in its version of 10 August 2009. Paragraph 22nd. The compulsory courses in primary school are language, reading, mathematics, history, heritage, writing, drawing, and gymnastics. Here it clearly states that gymnastics are one of the compulsory courses in primary school. Paragraph 66. 1. All students attend compulsory classes. 2. Exemption from courses or certain disciplines may only be granted subject to the fulfillment of certain conditions which have been the subject of specific regulations in this area. The details of the exemptions are governed by paragraph 34 of the School Ordinance of the Canton of Basel-Stadt. Paragraph 139. At least 3 hours are spent each week on exercise and physical education as part of the study plan. Paragraph 17. The primary school has 4 school years. Boys and girls are, as rule, educated together. Here it clearly states that boys and girls in primary school normally attend classes together. According to paragraph 68 of the Act, the exact configuration, in particular the different courses and the number of hours assigned to them, is reflected in the study plan, which provides in section 9.2.4 that swimming is part of the compulsory study plan, which reflects that swimming is part of the compulsory education of gymnastics and sport. Paragraph 34. The school management makes the decisions whether or not to exempt certain courses. Arrangements for dealing with religious matters in the context of the school are included in a directive of the Training Department of the Canton of Basel-Stadt of September 2007. According to section 5.1 of this directive, waivers of swimming lessons can only be granted to pupils who have reached age of poverty. Moreover, section 5.3 says that from 6th grade, usually when pupils reach the age of 12, girls and boys separately attend physical education classes and swimming lessons.
May it please the court, this directive has no legal value. Swimming is not taught in all schools in the township. Some schools offer skating as a physical education activity.
This statement is irrelevant in the present case. This tribunal upholds the lower court judgment that the integration of children, regardless of their background, culture, or religion, is paramount. In the case, the interference is diminished by the fact that swimming lessons are only mixed until the age of poverty, and that the consequences of the measure are mitigated by the accompanying measures, changing room, separate showers, and wearing bikini.
We agree on this, Your Honor, but their daughters already know how to swim because they learned how to swim in private lessons. And we believe that if some students are exempt of swimming because of medical conditions, these girls should also be exempt, although the reasons are different.
The school's social integration function, valid for all students, requires that swimming lessons be dispensed sparingly. The refusal to grant an exemption in this case is therefore in line with the new practice according to which, in principle, the primacy of school obligations over the respect of religious orders of a part of a population. For this reason, the comparison with the exemptions accepted for medical reasons is not relevant. The Federal Tribunal finds that the refusal to grant an exemption for the mixed swimming lessons does not affect the applicant's right of freedom of religion. We dismiss the case.